Hey guys, how you doing? It's Nikki. As I said in my previous videos, I was going to start sharing my spiritual journey. So this will be actually part one. So I'm actually going to start off with maybe 3 days prior to my dad died. So as I explained to you guys in my first video, I'm basically going to be sharing my journey when I was actually spiritually attacked, and how I signed a deal with the devil without even being aware. Yes, there's possibilities that you can do that without even being aware. So for that, I'm going to start off with part one. Let's go. And also, if you have any questions or anything, you can feel free to message me, ask me anything, share your experiences or anything like that, because I want people to be aware, because you can get deliverance. You can, there is people that's being spiritually attacked and don't even know it. Or, some people feel like they don't want to share it, or there's no pastors that out here that can help you. There are people that can help you. And I'll be sure to share that information with you, because I want people to know you're not alone, and I don't want people to make the same mistake that I made. Um, so 3 days prior to my dad passing away, like I said, I'll explain that later, how it was very hard for me. My sister mom made it hard for me during my dad's last past couple of days or last past couple of months. She wouldn't let the doctors give me any medical information. She tried to make it hard with no, I couldn't know anything, and no, she wasn't his wife. His wife was deceased, but that's a long story. So one of my experiences prior to my dad passing away, I was actually laying in the bed watching TV. And I somehow went in an out of body experience where I actually got trapped in my dad's body. I felt everything that my dad felt. I couldn't breathe. I was stuck. I couldn't move. And my dad had a trade in. He couldn't move. He couldn't talk. He couldn't do anything. And I felt everything my dad felt. And I felt my dad screaming for help. And I woke up and I'm screaming, saying, call a hospital. My dad can't breathe. My dad can't breathe. And I'm panicking. And then I went into another trance where someone was standing over top of me, choking me, literally choking me. And I'm kicking, I'm screaming. And I seen a snake. And then once I seen a snake, I'm going to be honest, I seen my sister mom. I seen my sister mom, and then I seen Salt. And after that, I kind of got out of that one. And a couple of minutes later, I went into this all white, beautiful phase. My room just turned all white. And it was so peaceful, and it was so loving. I didn't want to leave it. It just felt so warm. I felt so happy and so safe. And I just felt I seen um, beams of light, like little beams of light, like energy, like just all around my room, and they were so powerful and they were so strong. And I knew each one. I'm like, I knew one was my uncles and my grandfather. Like I knew each one of it just by the energy of it. And one particular one was my grandmother. And my grandmother's hers was so strong. Like I just knew that was my grandmother. And she said, it's time. She said, I'm here to get my baby. And I started crying. I was just so happy. I was so relieved because my dad was suffering. He was really suffering. And the next day I went to the hospital. I said, Daddy, I said, Grandma here. I said, do you feel her? And he started crying and he shook his head. Yeah, and we both shared that moment. And my dad passed away. We actually took him off life support, and he passed away right after. And it was hard for me. It was really hard for me. I was the last, I watched my dad take his last breath, and I was the last person. I just did not want to leave my dad. I did not want to leave his side. It was really rough. And after my dad passed away, um, I just didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to clean my house. My house was getting dirty. I didn't care about what my house looked like. And I'm a person that keeps a clean house. I was so embarrassed by my house, I wouldn't even let nobody in there because I knew that was not me. I knew something wasn't right. And when there was one incident right before my dad passed away. It was thundering outside, and I'm actually laying in the bed watching TV, and someone actually knocked on my bedroom door. And I said, yes. And I'm thinking it is my son because it's thundering. And I'm like, maybe he's scared because it's thundering. Maybe he want to come in the room. And they knocked on the door again. And they never said anything. And when I opened up the door, there was nobody. And my son was in his room asleep. So I knew it wasn't my son. And that actually really scared me. And then the next day, my neighbor, I got so spooked out that morning. I think I just sat at my mom's house. I went to my mom's house. And when I came back, my neighbor actually texted me. And she said, is somebody in your house? And I said, nobody's not in my house. She said, it sounds like somebody's in your house. And I said, there's nobody in my house. And I came home. We was actually standing by my neighbor's door, and there was a pair of gold teeth. And my dad had golds in his mouth. My dad wore golds. Anybody knew my dad? My dad wore golds. And I have pictures of that. And there was a pair of golds at her front door. And she just was like, this is really creepy. And a couple of days later, I just felt like something was on me. Something was just on me. My back was starting to hurt really bad. I was starting to get really, really bad headaches. I just felt like something was not right. And over the past couple of weeks, it just got worse. And then my dreams I was being attacked in my dreams. It was so bad that if I look in the mirror, the shadow was right there. If I walk up my steps, that black shadow, was walking right behind me. If I was asleep, that shadow was standing over top of me while I was asleep. And it was not a good experience. It wasn't a good person. It was something very demonic. And it, whatever it wanted, it did not want it to let me rest. It attacked me the most in my sleep. I was so terrified. I can be sitting in my kitchen and I can just feel the presence of it. It's just watching me. It was very, very scary. And from June to um, 11/11, well, 11/10, I went through this. I went through this every night, every day with these entities not letting me rest, not letting me sleep. Definitely between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., I was attacked the most. I'm going to share about, and I couldn't take it no more. I did pray. I did pray. I did. And I just knew something wasn't right. Something just was on me. And I started going to getting candles. I started getting sages. I started saging my house. I started getting Run Devil Run candles, home blessing candles. I was doing everything the wrong way. That was not what I was supposed to have been doing. And I used to go to the shop where I get my candles, and that day she was not there. And something said, go to this other spiritual healer who was an Indian guy. And that particular day, I drove 40 minutes to her shop, and it told me she's not there. This is what the entity told me and was laughing at me. And I drove that 40 minutes, and she was not there. They will tell me things already and make jokes of me. And something said, go to this guy, this spiritual healer. And not knowing that this was the entity telling me this. And I went to this Indian guy, this spiritual healer. And when I met him, I actually met Satan himself. And I will tell you that story on tomorrow on how I actually met the devil himself and how he was the most beautiful person I ever seen. This man, I say Satan because people say Satan is the most beautiful. I could not lay my eyes off this man. And I will tell you tomorrow how I signed to deal with the devil without even knowing. You guys have a good night. Sleep well. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And like I said, share it. Please share my video because I want people to be warned. Good night. I love you guys.